I promise you by the end of night I'm going to do two things. First, Giovanni is returning. And the second, I will be cross-dressing. Not at the same time. It's me. Could I resist the temptation? Come on. Anyway, so yeah, we're really glad that you guys came out. I know that it means so much to us when all of our friends and family come out to join us and revel in what we have worked very hard, and some of us have cried very hard over in the last entire quarter. Hello, everyone! It is I know you have missed me. You see, the last quarter, I was taking break in Peru. The ladies in Peru. Ooh. But, if you remember, the last time you saw me, it was a night of love. And so shall this be, a night of love. Maybe not the love you imagine, but the love of family. Who here has a family? You all know what I'm talking about. Now, you!
No!
Yeah! Come here! You are a beautiful woman. She is a beautiful woman, lady! Many of you who may not know her, this is my mother. And this is what I do to my mother. Do you love the Giovanni?
Yeah.
The Giovanni loves you.
Yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we progress in our night of love. But our next song is not one of love. Our next is one of competition, of a job interview. We all have been there, yes? Who has never been to a job interview? It's very blinding. I'm assuming, is there anyone raising? No. You have never been to a job interview. God, you're lucky. Job interviews can be stressful, yes? Well, you will see just how stressful they can be when you are put to a speed test.
There are a couple of little pieces of background you should know about me. One, I'm terrified of birds, especially large ones, like geese or geese. But, and I used to live on the ridge last year. If you don't know where that is, it's about middle of campus up at the top of the hill. So about this time last year, I was walking from the bus stop to my dorm, and I hear this cawing. Not funny. I hear this cawing behind me, and then a crow flies right past my head and lands in his tree in front of me and turns and keeps cawing at me. So I'm like, freaky, but okay. And I keep walking, and it comes down from the tree, flies straight at my face. So I scream and I duck. And I turn around and I look at it, and it just turns around and flies straight at me again. So I keep screaming, obviously, and I run all the way to my dorm. And I do a little bit of research online. Turns out crows are really smart, and they remember faces, and they hold grudges. So I didn't really have to leave my dorm again until Monday, which was my first final, 8 in the morning, and I figure I'll just walk a different way through campus. Maybe I can avoid this crow. I get about halfway to my final when I hear this cawing behind me. So I know what's gonna happen, so I just duck. Crow flies right where my head was, lands in this tree in front of me, and I know it's not gonna let up, so I just turn around and I start running. And it dives, and it starts like flying at me. So I'm running, screaming through the ridge, 7 in the morning, Monday of finals week. And I mean, I ran all the way through the ridge. It's a pretty big place. And I get to my dorm, and I can't get my keys out of my pocket. So I'm just pounding on my door, screaming, Megan! Megan, let me in! And I woke her up. So I actually ended up having to call campus security, and they sent a police officer and a police car to my dorm to escort me to my final. If you don't know, the back of police cars are super uncomfortable. The seats are made of like plastic, and they have these weird divots for when your hands are in handcuffs and you're sitting down. So that really sucked. And then I had to send out this like cry for help to all 5 of my classes, just begging somebody to please walk me to my final so I wouldn't have to face this crow alone. And I guess it started going around Twitter about the girl on the ridge being attacked by a crow. It was awful. Everyone thinks it's funny, but for me it was like Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds come to life, and I'm still traumatized by it. The entire summer I wouldn't go outside unless I had my hood up on my hoodie, which got really hot. And even still, if I hear like crows cawing outside, I'll flinch.
When I had to fill out a filler for this, I asked everyone here, and well, everyone in the club knows how much I love crepes, because I kind of go to AB crepes like all the time. And well, I kind of have 4 stamp cards filled out, which there's 10 crepes on each stamp card from like since September, so this whole year. I'm working on my fit, and yeah, but everyone's like, Corinne, you're gonna get diabetes. And I'm like, yeah, but it'll taste good. I don't care. But that's not really that long of a filler, so I kind of thought that I'd bring something up that is really funny, in my opinion. So I live with guys, which is weird because I'm a girl, obviously. And, well, they're total sweethearts. They're like big bearded men, and they look really scary when you first see them because one just like looks angry all the time, but he's so nice and it's really funny. And well, one night I'm taking out my contacts and I'm, really trying. And I just got contacts like a few months ago. And so I'm still kind of having troubles, and they're dailies, so they're not really the best quality, but they're good enough for a day, right? Well, this one broke in my eye. And I'm like, crap, like this hurts. And I'm like trying to get it out, crap, I can't do it, can't even like drip water in my eye. It takes so much for me to like hold my eyelashes back to like put it in, because when I got them, she like tried to make me do it, and she's like, your eyelashes are really strong. I didn't know eyelashes could be strong. Okay. And she's like, well, you just blink really hard. And I'm like, do I really? But anyway, so, I'm like trying, and I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like climbed on the counter, getting really close to the mirror, and I still can't do it. So Ethan comes by, and he's like, what's going on? I was like, I need something in my eye to get it out. I need to like cry or something. So we look all over the apartment, can't find eye drops. Who doesn't have eye drops in their apartment? I don't know. And so after like 20 minutes of looking, like everyone has looked in every crevice everywhere in our apartment. Can't find it. I'm like, crap, what am I gonna do? Because this is so uncomfortable. It's like trying to fit like an eyelash in your eye, and I just kind of want to punch it. Like, I don't want to punch a puppy because it hurts that bad. But I don't like to punch puppies, so I didn't. And plus, I didn't have a puppy with me. And so one of them, Ethan, comes up to me and he goes, well, if you really need to cry, Alex and I can punch you in the face. It's logical. It really is. To this day, he thinks it's very logical. Yeah. But then I'd be crying for another reason, and I'd probably have a black eye. Not helpful. I don't want to walk around school. Yeah, later it gets, the more like delusional I get. And like one night, I have an industrial design roommate, and he tried to teach me how to draw people. I can't draw people. I can't. I can draw boxes. I'm an engineer. I draw boxes, and I can be like, this thingy-majigger does this thingy on a diagram, but I can't really draw people. So at 3 in the morning, my roommate's trying to show me how to draw people, and he's like, there are proportionate things and all these things. And I'm like, huh? What? And so I'm like, I'm lucky if I can draw like a stick figure. That's my kind of person. But I had to for a class, and that was really sucky. But the professor was really scary too, in my defense. So I was just like, I'm scared. But yeah, I still got it done. I got it done at like 7 in the morning, got my assignment all done for 9 in the morning that day. That was scary. Probably the worst night of my life. But yeah, although that was actually fun. I got to read a whole play and design the characters, like their outfits and stuff. And it was really funny, but it was really difficult because it was like for the 1930s.
Scotland, my country and my land of birth, highlands and islands to the Solway Firth. Wherever I travel and wherever I roam, Highland Cathedral in my heart, my home. Scots unite all across the world and let the home fire burn in your eyes. Listen now, can you hear the call for Scotland? Will you rise? Marches one to the pipes and drums, stand out for the right, fight without fear, strong and true in adversity. For Scotland, will you cheer? Will you cheer? Scotland, my country, my land of birth, highlands and islands to the Solway Firth. Where I travel and wherever I roam, Highland Cathedral in my heart, my home. Scotland, my country, my land of birth, highlands and islands to the Solway Firth. Where I travel and wherever I roam, Highland Cathedral in my heart, my home.
Sipping Perrier, playing ping pong, moving up the ranks, y'all. Hey man, you know there's nothing wrong with a late night battle. I always stand prepared. My paddles in my backpack, challenges beware with a piece. I-N-G. Volley for the serve, hit it nice and easy. We got these regulations for a tournament. KR, PPRB, check the documents. Officiate your event, keep it on the level. Inspect the surfaces, arguments get settled. Scrutinize the nets, keep them taut and snappy. Rock the color commentary, keep the people happy. It's on, my day starts to rock. My friend Walls in the front lawn, giving seminars for the finer arts. A brutal backhand hits. People lining up just to earn certificates, check the merchandise. Here we thought of everything, from sweatbands up to grand champion rings. Nobody leaves empty-handed. Every last ball on the court, KPP RB branded. Demand from my sponsor is big and getting better. See me at the match in my ping pong sweater. In the locker room, lifting weights, getting strong. Sipping Perrier, playing ping pong. What you challenge me to a section event. It goes quick with a skunk, yeah, I love 06. Top spin smashes, stop them dead in the track. You see the way I relax is playing ping pong matches. Victories are coming in batches when I practice is backhand. Backhand again, forehand, no return, practice sideways spin. The skin on my paddle's kinda floppy, but it don't stop me. I'll win in any condition while you're wishing that you could scout out my style and try to copy. I'm in Japan learning secret paddle positions. I'm on a steady diet, sashimi and rice. I eat with my fingers, consult the masters for advice. Get the saddle guys hopper if you're willing to pay the price. Keep your eyes on the ball, hold the paddle like a friend. You don't have to have telekinesis, but pretend like you do. Now, in the sphere around the court, enter into the slow motion so the time and space is short. Make a report with a paddle, pick pocket, how we go, block how you feel, wheel the ball, flow against counter currents of the motion you make. You might mistake it for a simple game of angles, but it ain't now. Change the universe with the flavor of your game to reality around the ball and shape the lane of its travel. But do not let it unravel fate. Don't return a volley if it's already too late. It's unfair to your opponent if you move through air. How you...
I was on a bus, and while I was on this bus, there was this guy next to me. Must have been, probably 6'4", 6'5", a good 280 pounds, right? Guy, you know, I can't take it. But he has me like trapped. So I always get the window, but then here comes this big burly dude, and he just sits down. I'm like, what if I gotta pee? I'm gonna have to be crawling over this tree sitting next to me. But then he starts talking to me, and he tells me a story about when he used to be a fry cook in a circus. And one day, you know, like it's one of those circuses that like they have like the wild animals. And so they have a lion tamer, and one day the lion's just, it's completely out of hand, he says. So they call him in, because, I mean, giant. And so he comes in with a big slab of steak, nothing else. And he just walks in, and the lion's just prowling. And it's eyeing him, right? And he goes, now listen here. We can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. Either one's fine with me, but you're the one that's going to be hurting in the end. And the lion recoils. But then it decides better and like tries to sneak attack him, right? And this guy punches the lion in the face. A snarling lion leaping at him, and he's just like, nope. And he says, then the lion just completely was like, okay, I'm out, man. And then he went back to his fry cooking responsibilities. And I was just like, there's no way. There's no way that you would punch a freaking lion in the face. But then something about this guy seemed pretty genuine. I mean, he was clearly crazy, but he was genuinely crazy. A couple weeks later, I'm talking to a police officer, I'm not going to tell you what. And asked me, you ever hear anything odd around here? I mean, I ran into this 7-foot guy, and he goes, oh no. He goes, dude, we saw that guy last week. And I was like, oh? And he says, yeah. He says, this guy was outside the bar, drunk as a fiend. And we had 7 or 8 officers there, because not a single one of us wanted to take him on individually. All of our tasers were pulled. And he's standing against the wall, and he says, now listen here. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. It don't matter to me, but you're the one that's going to be hurting in the end. And he goes for an officer, tased down, right? And so this officer's telling me this, and I'm just like, gosh, this guy really was crazy. I was on the bus with a crazy dude who could snap me in half like a pencil.
Earlier, you heard about this giant costuming project. I was in the same class. Now, to preface this, for those of you who don't know, my name is Truxton, and that's about as hard to spell as you'd expect it to be. people spell it wrong all the time. For anyone who wants to know, it's Truxtun. I'm saying this because I had to do this project too, and I stayed up all night working on it. It was very, very tense. It was 10 minutes before it was due. Because, like any good college student, I procrastinated. So, I have this plastic bag that I put it all in to turn it in, because you have to put it in a bag, because evidently, if any of the products touch each other, they might explode. So I put it in a plastic bag, but it turns out it has to be a paper bag. So I went and I ran and I bought a paper envelope to stuff this project in to be in on time. Papers are really big and they didn't fit in the envelope. So that was terrifying. Now I'm down to 5 minutes. So I run back to the bookstore and I buy a giant envelope, so big that there's no way it couldn't fit. I stuff them all in. I'm like, okay, I've got 2 minutes left. All I have to do is write my name on it. So I write my name. And somehow, in the all-nighter that preceded it, and the last 2 minutes, I misspelled my own name. And it's not the usual way people misspell it, switching the vowels. No, I started writing my last name. So instead of Truxtun, I'm Truxtum. And I'm like, wow, I feel Truck's dumb. So, like, I've written it in pen. There's no erasing. So I frantically do the middle school thing and darken an N in it. I'm like, they'll just accept that that's the letter. But that looks really weird. It's like I really like that N. So I darken the rest of the name. This is in the last couple seconds. And I turn it in, and there's just this Sharpie black mass of my name. I think she thinks I'm a little narcissistic now. Clearly I wrote my name like 8 times. But I got it in, and that's what counts.
Things. Like when I was about this tall, my parents decided to sign me up for baseball, the American sport I'm not good at. The coach thought the same thing too. Not very good at it. So he stuck me out in left field, which is a terrible place to be if you're ADHD and about this high. Spent a whole lot of time just sitting in the grass instead of standing there. So one day I'm just sitting out in left field, looking at the caterpillars, and I look up and I see this little white dot. Little white dot in the sky, and turn my head, and that's a little weird. I remember the one thing my coach told me. Son, believe in yourself. You can do it. Those words resonated in my head as I squinted up and looked at the sky. Little dot getting a little bit bigger and bigger, and then it hit me. When I woke up, I decided baseball isn't my thing. So I decided to do this. Now, music and singing in general is kind of a weird thing. You can do so much with so little. For example, you can romance somebody with an acoustic guitar. Or you could be our 42nd president if you play the saxophone. But if you give me a piano and you give me a mine shaft, I can give you A flat minor.
Glee Club. Give us your money. Please.
I wanted to sort of just pay my respects to everyone that's here tonight. I've been doing this for, gosh, almost 4 years now. I joined my freshman year, and now I'm graduating, and this is my last show. And the same time that I joined, our film guy up there, Mr. Chris Hazenberg, started filming the same quarter. And that was the quarter we did the Rock of Ages medley, which I know is still your favorite. Oh yeah. But that was also back in the day when we could hardly go to practice without me taking my shirt off. A lot of testosterone. 4 years changes a lot. And then I cross-dress. Clearly some estrogen happened. But I know you had a few words that you wanted to say about the club and about all of this, so I want to hand it over to you. And I know that, seeing as this is kind of a big night for many reasons now, yeah, what did you have to say about it?
It's been a great journey. I remember when I was filming a musical about 3 years ago, I had 2 students that were in Glee, Katie Pease and Evan Ingalls, and they invited me to come watch the showcase. I went, yeah, sure. And then 3 days before the showcase, Katie's like, we need someone to film it. The guy couldn't make it. I'm like, just to make it down to the room. So showed up, back in the corner, just started recording, and ever since then, down to filming Glee.
And this guy is a workaholic. Within 1 week, within a few days, we'll have every single song up on YouTube, thanks to him. Individual YouTube videos, and you stayed up for like 28 hours.
12 hours straight, putting the showcase on DVD.
Getting the showcase all edited, put on DVDs for us. Over the years, he has put in so much work, so much work every quarter for us, and we are more than appreciative for that, Chris. Thank you.
I'm Truxton, and I'm the publicist, so I made the posters and the programs that you guys have. So my replacement next year is going to be Veronica Sparkles Gawky. Make that poster pretty. Bye, everyone.
Sure.
Okay, I'll go. Hi guys, I'm Haley. If you didn't know, I'm the music coordinator, so I do all the vocals and help with arranging stuff to make it sound pretty. My replacement is going to be the amazing Corinne Stone.
Okay, I'll go. I'm JB. I'm the dance coordinator, so choreo. And I am being replaced by the lovely Dina Alexandra.
And I'm the vice president of Glee, and basically my job is doing all the paperwork that he doesn't want to do. So
It's good to be the president.
so all of it. Yeah. So VP also means being treasurer as well, so we handle all the money, so there's a lot of trust there. But
That's a nice top.
I know, right? I got it yesterday. What? Okay. So my replacement is the amazing, exuberant Erin Harris.
And unlike last year,
We're finally getting rid of him.